Okay, here we go. I think this would be video number 5 on this frickin' mammoth. So I've pretty much gone through the amp and sort of kind of identified parts for the most part. So we come to the back of the amp here. We'll sort of take you just on a basic look on what's going on. So you have a microphone input, switchable. So if you wanted to use a microphone, that's your flat balanced input. If you switch the switch down to here, then it switches everything over to these unbalanced deals. So you can use an RCA plug, or if you plug 1/4 inch jacks in, it normals out the RCAs and you're using 1/4 inch, and the RCAs won't work. If you unplug the 1/4 inch denormals, and the RCAs work. Then when you move over here, they have a potential subwoofer input, so you can actually run your input into here, and there's a crossover internally, and you can choose whether you want to use the subwoofer input, which with these switches would be down, or you could use a flat input with these switches up from here, and then it gives you an output above 150 Hertz to send into a second amplifier. So pretty cool. Then you have your speaker outputs on each channel, you know, fused on both sides, and then 2 mains fuses for each sides. So it's essentially 2 amplifiers in one. So if you come over the top, we scroll over the center of the amplifier, and you can see there's pretty much 2 of everything. So the way it works out, on the front of the amp here, these 2 boards are part of the microphone preamp, and all the inputs seem to run into this pair of boards. And then you've got this pair of boards here, which is a 66 volt power supplies. 66 volt power supply for one side, another 66 volt power supply for the other side. And that's 66 volts plus, 66 volt minus in ground. So it's like a separate center tap off the transformer. You come back to here, another pair of power supplies, which also seem to run, provide power for the mic preamps, and also at the back here you've got 2 crossover networks on each side of the amp, and that power supply here seems to also power those crossover networks. And then everything else here, if you look, you've got these 2 boards and the 2 relays, which is all part of the speaker protect circuit. And these power supplies also seem to send voltage to the speaker protect relay circuit as well. So those are the power supplies at the top of the amplifier. Then there's the main power supplies that run the amp board, which is, these are the 2 amp boards on the side here. I've opened them up so you can actually see down inside, and you can see the row of 8 caps, and that's 8 caps feeding one side with a solid 55 volts, which comes into, that's like 55 volts positive, 55 volts negative, and then the big ground wire coming in. And that's the same on all the boards. So on this board up here, you see it's a negative connection up here, positive connection, and the ground in the middle. And it's exactly the same on the other side. So this is the good side of the amp, so your negative, positive, and then the big ground connection. And at each one of these connections there's a fuse. So power comes into here, so this would have 55 volts negative, comes across a fuse, connects directly into the transistors which are sitting here. So whatever this voltage is, 55 volts, appears at the center pin of the transistors, and that happens on both sides. So you got 55 volts positive coming in here, goes through the fuse, and then connects to the center pins of the transistors, and those are all functioning on both sides of the amp. So that's where we are so far. So now if we power this sucker up, I'll do that in the next video.